Alright y'all, we're back on Spooky J's Homebrew How-To, and I'm glad you stuck around because we're going to add a little bit of extra flavor to everything this time. We're going to talk about some of the bonuses that can kind of help keep the game math a little more interesting if you're down like that. If you just want to go one for one, hey, that's just fine. That being said, if you ain't scared to crunch a few numbers, well, we can do some fun stuff, and I want to tell you about some of the ways that I keep things interesting on the game board in terms of the bonuses that can apply to the different calculations we're doing with those dice. One of the first and major things, and if you were watching the last chapter, you saw in my notes, is inspiration points. See, inspiration points, honestly, work all different ways in all different rule systems. So my greatest advice is A, do what feels good. But B, take a look at a few around the ways there and kind of see how some of the different ones work and kind of find a groove that works for you. A way that I kind of like to keep them relatively simple but also fun and engaging to use is that I like to go with the system of either it adds 5 to a roll, it adds a bonus point of damage, or it allows a reroll. 3 simple options. Folks can call it when they use it, and it's really simple to keep track of on the sheets. That way, everybody's having fun, everybody knows exactly what kind of good stuff's in their pocket there, but without it having to be some major pressing piece of rule maintenance there. Next, I want to talk about advantage. These are, just the different things that can happen in different scenarios that, well, yeah, would yield either a mechanical or martial or intellectual advantage. That's kind of how things go. What brings things up and down in a situation. Here again, I like to keep that very simple. That way we can keep as many people engaged as possible. That way we don't lose those folks that are like, nah, that's too much math for me. Nah, we got math that everybody can do here. So I like to keep it really simple and play that as a +2 or a -2 and have that stack per condition. If you got a couple things going really good but then something's going kind of bad, well then, yeah, that's a little bit up and a little bit down. There we go. That might be +2, +4, -2 washes out to a +2. There you go. Easy peasy. That's for things like, let's say, sneak attack or high ground or particularly difficult feats that people are attempting. Things like that, just in order to give yourself the flexibility that it's not solely based on exclusively a 20-point dice roll. We can adjust things there. And we can also, in those regards, reward our players that are throwing good stuff down. If they say, oh, hey, could I get a better angle on this if I climbed up on the bar? Well, yeah, you could. And that sounds like high ground. +2. I think it might be a little bit more difficult if you got knocked over and you're trying to get off the ground in the pit. Yeah, you should probably roll that with a -2. These are the conditions that happen. So, feel free in that up and down, that gives your storytelling and your game mechanics all the more life and breadth there. Kind of additional to that, kind of like we just mentioned, with a couple of our locations, you could have potentially a zone or an AoE or an aura based buff. Maybe it's about where you are, if that's close to something, if that's in a space, if that is in an affected space. Maybe the bonuses are up or down based on that. That could be something great, that could be something not so great. Maybe there is somebody who smells amazing that's standing next to you, and it reminds you of all of the memories of ... And that's a positive bonus. Maybe you are standing in something that is absolutely adhering your shoes to the floor. Maybe that's a negative. All of those things can be played with, and you can add all kinds of additional fun flavor as you go in order to give all the more life to your story that you're telling. Something else that's pretty fun that you can add that's kind of over on the player side bonuses, this kind of helps empower your players, is something I like to do. Is I love to play with a lot of the classic classes. These are kind of the original 5, classic party of 5 classes there, boiled down to their basic mechanics. Maybe they want to hit things a little bit better. Maybe they want to be a little bit better at hitting things. Maybe they want to hit things, but then maybe they want to help things that got hit. That's basically the, primordial 5 tabletop classes there laid out, with the inclusion of a cleric in there, if you have somebody that's down to play a healer, which, props to all my healers out there. It's not so bad a role. Like, your parties need you, so shout out to all my healers. Maybe you throw something like a MacGuffin in there. I love MacGuffins personally. I'm a big TV head. All the different amazing, fun, wacky stuff that could happen and could befall our players in order to make things all the more lively and interesting and creative for them. Hey, that's fun. Did they drink some kind of potion? Is there some kind of a freak storm? Were they beset by some kind of ancient curse? I don't know. And what does that do? I also don't know. That's up to you and the flavor that you're trying to put into your table. But I can tell you, there's a lot of fun to be had. Write something as simple as, for instance, 1 HP, you suddenly feel a surge and you gain a +2 to all of your subsequent attempts to heal. Whether that's if you're playing a cleric and they're trying to heal someone, or if you are, for instance, rummaging through the bar and trying to find something to snack on to help out that tummy a little bit. All the same, all of these things are just different ways that you can weave in additional layers and additional fun buttons for your players to push, and fun energy for you to put on the table for your players to then pick up and engage with and weave into their stories and let their characters and characteristics go that much farther off. And then lastly, things like environmental, which, for instance, I actually just mentioned it, talking about rummaging through the bar. Is there a location that has something that they could pick up? Is there a location that they could activate that gives them a power-up? Is there an NPC that they interact with that provides them some kind of boon? All of these pieces are sourced there from what's going on in the map. And yeah, you can, here again, it's about the kind of elbow grease and legwork that you're wanting to put into it, because you can weave all kinds of fun extras into that sandbox for your players to engage with. And the more creative of players that you have around your table, the more engaging that they'll do with all of those fun extras. And do not be surprised when they apply those extras in ways that you never even conceived or never tied together, or they come out of left field with, so if I ... and I ... can we go with the rule of cool, because you're there to have fun and tell a cool story. So I hope you've enjoyed yourself on this little journey we've been down getting ready for this game. I hope that whether you just listened and had a good listen, or if you've been building alongside me and you're getting ready to play your first game or your 1000th game here alongside me, all the same, I'm glad to be rolling dice with you. This is your Bard, Spooky J. Know that I love y'all out there. None of y'all are alone. Be safe out there, kindred.